I dating a man and his kid hates me because I was a mistress. How do I bond with them when they hate me? I was only trying to protect their dad from their mother's abuse, and now I'm worried she is turning her kids against me even though her kid said she can make her own mind up. But because her and her mother get on well, I'm concerned she is worrying about her mother too much and is scared that she will upset her. Fake names. Chase, my boyfriend, 33 meters Jane, Chase's eldest daughter, 8F Alex, Chase's eldest son, and second child, 5 meters Chelsea, Chase's third child, 2F Jessica, Chase's youngest child, 9 months old Willow, Chase's ex and the kid's mother, 31F me, 27F. This is how me and Chase met. Chase and his wife first met in January 2011 when he was 20 and she was 18. They began dating for 4 to 5 years until 2014 when Chase was 24. His birthday is on summer. They both got married and welcomed a beautiful baby girl on July 14, 2015 called Jane. They had more beautiful babies throughout the years and had a beautiful relationship until Chase filed for divorce on December 2022. Their relationship was breaking down for multiple reasons, such as they were both too tired to look after Jessica, and I felt bad for Chase because he was made to do a lot of the work and Willow would always berate him. I first met him when I took my niece and nephew and younger cousins to the park and they were there. I overheard them argue as their children were playing so they couldn't hear them and they weren't noticing. Willow was asking him where the diapers were and Chase forgot. This has caused an argument since Willow answered back, "Please tell me you did not forget the diapers? How am I supposed to change them now, hey? With leaves? The baby pooped itself. Can you go back to get them, honey?" Chase said he can't because he's tired and he can't walk back 6 streets away just to get a packet of diapers. "What do you mean you can't walk back a few streets away? I was the pregnant one, not you. You don't have to worry after walking few streets away. Can you at least buy me a new pair of diapers?" Chase looked confused. "For you too? For the baby? Stop trying to be funny. I will go since you keep on doing my heading." Willow storms off to go to the shops. I asked him, does she always yell at him this much? Chase told me pretty much since she got pregnant with the 4th kid. "That's not normal. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's not normal to treat your partner like that. Pregnancy is not an excuse to be rude to people. How about I lend you a diaper so you can change the baby?" I asked him. He thanked me and then we made small talk. I met their baby for the first time and she was so adorable. Chase told me her name and I said hi to baby Jessica. From there, Chase and I became friends. I told him I found the wife needing diapers joke funny and we had a good laugh. Willow came shortly after, a little stunned, but she didn't think much of it since she had male friends too and she's not the type of person to get paranoid over having friends the opposite gender. I quickly befriended Willow and we followed each other on Facebook and Instagram shortly after before coming home. I saw Chase a week later in a pub with his then wife Willow as they were having drinks for the first time since giving birth. Willow had to go to the bathroom, and I began to chat to Chase. I asked if Willow still nags at him, which he responded yes. I felt bad and said, "Don't worry, if she can't treat you right then I will. Don't tell her or she will get mad," before winking at him, which made him giggle. The problem, from there, we begun dating behind Willow's back until December 13, 2022 when Willow came back with Jane to get her nails done and caught me and Chase cuddling on the sofa watching TV and she flipped out extremely at us to the point where both Willow and Jane were in tears because of it. Chase tried to explain it's not what it looks like until he realized no one was buying it. Alex was asking why his mom was yelling at his dad until Jane pointed at me and said it was my fault. Alex looked sad and went back upstairs. I told Willow we were sorry, but it was not appropriate to argue in front of the kids and to think of the children. Willow screamed back, "If you care so much about the kids then why did you break up their family? I finally found happiness after such a rough life I went through and you ruined it just because you wanted Chase for yourself, just because you're jealous and you couldn't find anyone so you had to steal people away from others." Willow suddenly realized Jane was watching everything and began crying and apologizing to the children for making them watch that, and she wasn't thinking straight, but she didn't mean to upset them. The younger ones were just scared and stood there, but Jane told her it's okay and it's not her mom's fault that I'm horrible. I went quiet because I didn't know a 7-year-old, 7 at the time, knew what those words meant, but I guess she was repeating them from their mom, so that's what influenced her to act that way. I apologized and explained to her that it wasn't appropriate for us adults to argue in front of children. I explained how I tried to get them to stop, but her mother wasn't listening. She told me that me and her dad shouldn't made my mom angry if I didn't want her to shout at me, called me a fat pig and told me to get lost. She stormed off to her bedroom. How does a 7-year-old know such details? I tried to explain that I am sorry for breaking up her family and asked if she wanted to move on, put that in the past and that me and Chase will always love the kids. Alex and Chelsea accepted my apology, but Jane kept on ignoring me. Chase and I got kicked out and he filed for divorce on December 15th. The court thing is still going. They ended up getting 50-50 custody, not straight away. When they first got to my house, since I offered Chase and the kids to move to mine since I have more room, I wanted to welcome the kids by giving them a hug, but Jane pulled them away and said she hurt Mummy and made her sad, so don't go near her, and told me she didn't want me here and she only came because she was forced to. I gave them their teddy bears with their names on it, which I got knitted by my sister just for them with my own money. Chase offered to pay, but I refused. I thought it wouldn't hurt to give the kids a small welcome present. Jane told me she hated the teddy bears and they look ugly. She said she has her own one that Mummy gave and Mummy's one was better. Why is she acting like her mom's personal therapist? It's not her job to look after her mom's feelings, and I said that she doesn't need to look after her mom, and she said she isn't forced and that I want to look after Mummy forever, even though she says I don't have to and it's her job, but I still want to and she isn't forced, and accused me of trying to make her hate her mom. Jane came running back down to sit on the sofa. She used her fingers to go through the sewn up teddy bear and rip them apart, then stormed off to her bedroom. I went to my bedroom and cried. I got that made personally just for the children, a welcome gift, and she destroyed it. Why is she rude to me every time she comes to my house? I know I upset her mother, but I want her to bond with me, but she wouldn't let me. I tried to come to her events, but she ran up to her mom and dad in happiness, then pulled a tantrum every time she sees me and says, what am I doing here, and she doesn't want me here. She says she won't stop pulling a tantrum until I go, and I had to leave almost every family event in tears because everyone will stare at me and give me dirty looks. She even skipped a few of her siblings' events because I was there, and she said she won't go if I'm going. Willow tells me that I should have thought about that before breaking up the family, and I said I know and I'm sorry. I've already been punished enough, and now my own boyfriend's parents and family hate me and don't want me at family events because they want Willow to feel safe in their home, and Jane always starts crying every time I'm joining in. She got on well with Chase eventually, but she still hates me. Last month this year, I showed up with Chase to celebrate her birthday as Chase was invited, but she began screaming and crying and said she doesn't want me here and I ruined her birthday. She grabbed my present, opened it up, and broke the doll into pieces before throwing it in the bin and said it was the worst present ever and made me cry. Willow said, well, no one told you to cheat with my ex-husband and break up the family. You should have thought about that beforehand and that it's her choice. If she doesn't want you here, then you should leave, since I didn't even want you guys coming here, but I only invited you both just so you don't sue me for parental alienation. Me and Chase were cussed out by the entire adults, especially Willow's granddad, who came up to me and screamed at me saying it was my fault for breaking up the family and manipulating Chase, along with Chase's mom even trying to escort me out with his dad escorting both of us out. It even got to the point where now she will get up, get changed, have a shower, have breakfast, brush her teeth, go to her maternal grandparents, my grandparents, or go out in the town with her mom all day, then come back late at night at 8:30 p.m., brush her teeth, get dressed and go to sleep. She even demands she has sleepovers to get away from me and her dad during his custody turn. He tried to sue for parental alienation, but the judge said unless she's sleeping over her mom's during our custody term, then her meeting up with her mom outside of her house is not violating custody agreements. I messed up. I tried to call a therapist yesterday, but Willow threatened to take me to court if I try to do parental stuff, and it turned out she already put them in therapy ages ago, and the therapist said while bonding with Chase will be nice, she doesn't have to not hate me if she doesn't want to, as long as she's being civil and won't take it out on potential half-siblings in the future. How do I get her to stop avoiding me and hating me and get her to understand that she doesn't have to be afraid of what her mother thinks? Update 1. Fake names. Chase, 33M me, 27F Jane, 8F Alex, 2F Jessica, 9 months old babysitter, 20F mom, 60F. Me and Chase were going on a date night. I hired a babysitter to watch over my boyfriend's children while we go out to a restaurant out of our local area to eat out. Chase had some rules that the children sleep at 11 p.m. are not allowed fizzy drinks and are not allowed to drink or invite people to our home. They aren't allowed to take the children out after 7 p.m. That sounds reasonable in my opinion. I told the babysitter I made chicken nuggets, there's lollipops, packet of crisps, sweets, or a bowl of fruit, and I also made some cheesecake if they get hungry. I let her know not to serve them all at once, but they were just options. I even got juice cartons with straws in case they were thirsty, and she understood. I gave her a list of instructions so she knew how to look after the children. Then me and Chase took off. I came back 2 hours later. It would usually take 1 hour and 30 minutes, but there was traffic and I let the babysitter know, and I apologized, which she accepted and said she understand. And I found the babysitter feeding Jane, Alex and Chelsea a can of Coke with 3 packets of Smarties each, not 1 packet per child, 3 packets per child, which me and Chase didn't even buy, and the Coke cans were on the highest shelf on our fridge, which the children besides Jane wouldn't even notice if they opened it because the fridge is tall. Chelsea had Coke dripping down her shirt and chocolate around her mouth, and Alex came up and cried to me and Chase because his stomach was hurting. I wondered where Jessica was, so I went to her cot. She has 2 cots. One upstairs and one downstairs in the living room, and she was in the one in the living room, and found her eating a whole banana to herself. Jessica is being introduced to solids, but she can only eat apples and bananas if they are cut up, which is what was said on the paper. Chase immediately took the banana off Jessica, which led to her crying. Chase would have let the babysitter off with a warning had it just been the Coke or the 3 packets had the packets just been the packets we bought, but Jess could have been choking and suffer had she ate the whole banana. Not to mention, the babysitter bought a can of beer and drunk it at our home and left the children home on their own. Chase was understandably mad and fired the babysitter on spot while only giving her half of the money that she should be getting, even getting mad at the babysitter for going out while leaving the children on their own with Jane to look after, since a 8-year-old shouldn't be babysitting younger children, and drinking it while looking after the babies. Anything could have happened to his kids if they were left on their own for that long. It's not like Alex, Chelsea and Jane were 12, 15 and 19, because if that was the case then I wouldn't be that mad, since someone of that age can look after themselves on their own for a short while, but a 5-year-old, 2-year-old and a 9-month-old should not ever be left alone, and I'm just glad nothing happened to them. I even admit that I flipped out at the babysitter as well. The babysitter left in tears after promising it wouldn't happen, but I didn't want to risk the children's safety and neither did Chase, so we said to her it doesn't matter if it doesn't happen again. You left 4 young children on their own, was drinking alcohol while babysitting, and she broke a lot of rules and we weren't going to compromise the children's safety. The children, Jane, Alex and Chelsea, were up, and Jessica stayed in her crib after their dad sent them up so we could have a word with the babysitter, so they didn't hear much since they had headphones on and were watching cartoons on their tablets upstairs. That was that. Once the babysitter left, we went back up to put the children to bed. Before you ask, we cleaned the chocolate off Chelsea and I took her to the dining room to the bathroom, which was next to the kitchen, to change while Chase was telling the babysitter off, while Jane and Alex just got wipes to wipe off the chocolate around their mouths. Today, a few hours ago, I vented to my mom, but she complained that me and Chase were too harsh on the babysitter, and everyone makes mistakes, so maybe we were being too hard on the babysitter. Ada? Were Chase and I harsh on the babysitter? Extra information, just in case you're concerned with us storing junk food. We don't usually keep junk food around our house. We just had 1 multi-pack of 8 chocolate bars and 1 mule pack of 6 packet crisps, but we don't eat it too often. This was just a treat, and we limit how much junk they can eat, and they're not too big on junk food. Update 2. BKBM, boyfriend's kid's bio mother, got mad because she couldn't afford to get her son a Lego set. The Lego set costed £15, and her son came to me crying when it was my boyfriend's turn to get custody because his mom wouldn't get it because it was too expensive. He asked me why his mom can't afford toys over £10, and I told him don't worry, some people can't afford nice things, but it's okay, because I will buy it for you instead since I got enough money. I took him shopping with me to buy the Lego set he wanted, and he got to take it home with him this Monday when he went over to his mother's house, and according to his mother, he went on about how he loves me so much because I bought him a toy. Apparently this made her mad because when me and my boyfriend came over yesterday to collect the kids, she had a go at me, and started accusing me of trying to turn her son against her cause. Now apparently her son says he likes me more because I can buy him the Lego set and she couldn't, so he loves me more. I tried to explain to my boyfriend's son that not everyone can afford nice things, but that wasn't good enough for her because I'm apparently trying to cause drama, even though she's the one that argues in front of her and my boyfriend's kid instead of talking to us privately like grown-ups. But I was just trying to look out for her financially and save her the burden of spending a lot of money because she isn't broke, but she can't afford stuff that most people can. My boyfriend even said that we're not trying to cause drama and that he can return it if he wants, to which she said, so what? You can tell the kids that I won't let them play with toys you and your girlfriend buy and have them hate me even more. They don't hate her, but her son wished she could buy him toys over £10. I'm not falling for that. You know what? Forget it, but if you even try to pull that with me and try to turn the kids against me, then there will be serious trouble. She said goodbyes to my boyfriend's kids and headed home. My boyfriend's son asked if he will be in trouble and asked if he isn't allowed to play with his Lego, to which me and his father said to not worry and nothing will happen. We said he can play with it if he wants. He doesn't touch the Lego set now because he's scared that his mother will get upset, even though it's just a toy. This isn't the first time that she had tried to poison my boyfriend and her kids against us, and even the law had to step in, get her in trouble, and warn her that we could sue her for parental alienation if she turns the kids against us. She tried to sue us for parental alienation once and lost, so now she's bitter that she can't turn the kids against us. I didn't think trying to save my boyfriend's children's mother money and spending a lot on a toy is a bad thing, but it's now bad co-parenting and overstepping. Was I really overstepping? Update 3. Me, my boyfriend and his children are going abroad on December to visit his family for Christmas. One of them is a baby. Yes, BM is okay with it, and we booked her a hotel and paid for her ticket and plane as well, and my boyfriend will also pick her up too. And this is my first time traveling with a baby, 1F, as a grown-up, 27F. Because I do not want to disturb the other passengers on the plane, what can I bring to put a baby to sleep, and how can I put a baby to sleep on a plane? I will bring her favorite teddy bear and I will put on cartoons on for her, but she will be tired since the plane ride will be long and I can't really walk around while holding her when she is crying because other people do not want to hear her cry, understandably. So how can I put a baby to sleep on a plane? What have you done to soothe a crying baby on plane or put a baby to sleep on a plane? Now on to the next story. Story 2. Am I wrong for being upset? Because my boyfriend is buying more expensive gift for his mother. I, 18F, have been with my BF20 for a year and some change. I would just like to say I'm not saying I hate his mother, we actually get along quite well. But recently, since holidays are coming up, we were casually talking about gifts. I told him I would be getting his mom a necklace of this certain genre she likes. He has decided to get her these really expensive shoes. For a bit of context, we are going on a family trip and he had told me since he was going to pay for my ticket that I would unfortunately have to settle for a non-so-expensive Christmas gift since he wouldn't be able to afford it. I said sure, that was fine, but I also had offered to give him at least half of the money for the plane ticket, but he wouldn't let me no matter what. But now he can afford to buy his mother expensive shoes while the only thing he's getting me is PJs? I'm not trying to sound rotten or spoiled, I just don't understand why I'm getting the short end of the stick when he had told me he wouldn't be able to afford anything crazy. Hess also not one of those obsessed boy moms, though his mother is a bit like one. He has always defended me and has even threatened to move out of their home if they ever crossed any boundaries with me. And I know they don't hate me because they have always supported me financially and emotionally. I'm an orphan, so this is why this situation feels a little weird for me. I don't know if I'm allowed to feel this way or stay quiet and just suck it up. I thought I should make this clear since there was some miscommunication. The plane ticket isn't a Christmas gift, he had got it for us for our anniversary in September. Yes, I have offered to pay for it multiple times, I am not spoiled and accepted it right away. But either ways, judging off of everyone's comment, it seems that I am the a-hole. So I will apologize to him and talk to him about everything. Update 1. A lot of people have been saying, what do I bring to the table or what worth do I have to be compared to his mother? Which I don't think it's appropriate. If I were to make a list of things that I do for him and he does for me, would it actually be out of genuine or would it be out of keeping tabs? I only brought up the groceries comment so people didn't think I actually just let him spend so much of that money. Also, just for a little buffer, a lot of people don't seem to understand why our relationship is the way it is, and to put in simple terms, his family and I are close because of events we went through together. That includes when I was in a life-threatening accident, when our dog/cat passed away, when he was failing school, we all pulled the weight to push him through school, and finally when my court trial proceedings started happening, his family was there to make me feel like I wasn't alone. Like I said, I've never disliked his family and our bond is practically unbreakable. I was never upset she got a better gift, she's done a lot for us. I was only upset because it was something we had talked about, that he wouldn't go overboard with, the not getting any expensive Christmas gift did not just apply to me, it was for everyone. In my eyes, him getting me the PJs seemed like a way to soften the blow from making the purchase without telling me, knowing him and I are trying to save for a future together. Comment where Op has replied. Commentator asked if the boyfriend has been able to spend some money on his mother since she has been nice to Oop. And if the boyfriend has been spoiling his mother too much. OP, no, it's completely okay, my fault for reading it wrong. His parents are very well off, which is why he is also pretty well off. He doesn't get his mother a lot of things. Why I was so shocked this year, because last year he didn't get his mother anything since her husband had bought her everything she wanted, so she asked nothing from him. I'm assuming maybe the circumstances have changed this year, which is why I will be talking to him, because maybe there's something I don't know. But even then I just thought, which is my fault, that we were going to stick to our budget like we had said we would. But everyone else is right, I'm only his girlfriend, so my words weight shouldn't as much as his mother's does. I can see that point that everyone is making now. Update 2. This is a little bit of a long update, so I'm super sorry. I realized I didn't mention this in original post, but me and boyfriend do live together, so when the original post went up he was already asleep, so we didn't get the chance to talk about it till we woke up this morning to go to the gym. He did apologize to me for not communicating that he was going to go out of budget again with his mother's gift. He had explained that after buying my plane ticket he was planning on not getting anything expensive for anyone. But when the time came around he was struggling to find something that lived up to his mother's taste, so he had to go a bit out of budget so she wouldn't be disappointed. He originally said he didn't want to get her anything, but since her husband got her this new bag she wanted at the beginning of the year, he didn't want to get her anything else for Christmas, so in return my boyfriend felt bad and got her something since she kept calling him about how upset she was. I felt terrible and told him that I was sorry for getting so upset, I just didn't understand why he had a sudden change of mindset. We both do agree that I should go to therapy a bit more, since the only reason why it affected me so much was because I did not have the capabilities to understand why his relationship with his mother was the way that it was, and we both agreed it was partially because I never had one with my own set of parents to understand. So I excused myself on behalf of that and agreed that just because I don't feel comfortable or understanding of something doesn't give me the right to assume things. He reminded me that I will always be his number one priority and the first in line for everything, but that this time around was different because his dad decided to not step up the plate for his mother, and he apologized keeping this from me despite not having a reason to. As for me picking up the bill for groceries, he did notice and said he was grateful that I cared enough to make sure he didn't waste any more money, but a fear of having no money was the one feeling he could not share with me, and that issue alone was something that I had to work on. Which I do agree, we grew up two different ways, so I've always been the one to worry about the purchases we make and how we'll be able to abstain a comfortable future. So thank you for everyone who commented on the original post for humbling me, but also, thank you for making me realize that just because I see things one way doesn't mean it's the only way to see them.